Welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video we're going to be talking about this education system. So this is going to be a little different than my previous videos that I have done, as I spoke about creating another channel, which I will, but until I do, I'm going to just drop them on this channel. School has started back. We're going on 2 weeks now, and my kids are doing school at home. And I know at the end of in May I was like, y'all are going back, but you know, I said I'm gonna have a break, I'm forget all about it, and I did. So this is our third school year going in, just staying at home. And over these last couple years, how would I put it, like tuning, I'm not say tuning out, but like not worried about, everybody else. I'm not worried about everybody else. I don't know how to put it. I would call it, I have been just, we have been in our own little world. And it all started with the food. The food thing was the first thing. And everybody starts somewhere. But the food thing is what piqued my interest, because it only takes one thing to wake you up. And we all have those times in our life where we are meant to wake up. Well, some people are not meant to, some people will never wake up, but we have all had the choice. You can either stay asleep, which is like deny it, fight it, or you can go with it. And so that was in 2020. But we all know back in 2020 when the pandemic happened and all the kids went home, and my kids, just like everybody else's, we went home and we were watching the news and we were scared, and it was a very scary time. At that time I was not aware like I am today, and they put all the kids on a virtual system, learning system, and that was in March of 2020. I want to say February though, but I'll say March. And since we have been at home, well, this year they pulled virtual learning for elementary kids, and so I had to pull our kids out of the Edmond district. So I was just like, why the fuck am I thinking this is just a part of we not questioning nothing? I was like, why in the hell was I thinking, and why do we think that, oh, we have to keep our kids in the Edmond district, is the best schools? When I pulled them out of Edmond, I thought it would hurt a little more than it did, because I was like, man, they've been here. Then I was like, this is all just a part of, like, who even said that they couldn't get the same or better at home? So I pulled them out of Edmond, not a problem. And I was just like, I can't believe we have been limiting ourselves based off of a school. And now that I know that school is an indoctrination for kids, school was originally designed to produce workers for the industrial revolution, for the factories of the industrial revolution. What I mean by produce workers, when they brought in schools was a place, they brought it under the guise of education, but the real thing was for these kids to go to school. We wanted to make workers out of them so they could go to these factories and work. Private school was way before public school even came into play. Back in the 1800s, private school was a thing. Obviously that was just for, the families that had money. But when public school came in, it was to make workers. School is to instill a worker mentality. School does not instill boss mentality. School does not teach you. I was like, school is like a 12-step program, because when we hit senior year, we don't know a mother Please tell me. Please tell me. They send you home with a raggedy ass baby, a robotic ass baby. First of all, the baby they send us home with could have been way better with the shit they doing. They are growing. They are printing body parts for people. They do a lot. Okay, it's a lot we don't know about. They can print your arm. They can print your arm in a 3D printer. Okay, they can do that. By the time we hit 12th grade, we don't know about credits. And very small percent of our mothers put us on their credit card, and if they did, we didn't really understand what that meant. Okay, if you're in the black community, you hope that your parents ain't your credit up already, because that's a very real possibility as well. We know the basics of like how our body works, but we have no knowledge of the energy, because our bodies are electric. We don't know how to do CPR. Do we? I mean, I'm confused. I don't even know if we don't know how to start a business, like just a structure of it. We don't know how to open bank accounts. You know, they do not teach us a lot. School was like a social studies thing, and I know we have a social studies class, but school was to impose beliefs on the kids. They figured, okay, the kids are going to be at school all day. This is a chance for us to fill them with this one uniform construct, right? Just blanket all across the board, one. We're going to fill them with that while they're at school all day. And if we do this for 20 years all day, by the time they're an adult, they're going to carry out the plan. And the more and more you're away from home, the more you start your beliefs at home, they start to fall away because you're at school all day. Do y'all know that the same architects that build the prisons build schools? Like, what? Why do the people that build prisons build schools? That seems very strange to me. They also wanted like women to go to work, so school was a place for the children. While the women went to work, children would go. So I mean, all of this is how it all started. So by the time I'm coming along 120 years later, I got kids and I'm just throwing them into school. We get in trouble if they miss more than 10 days. 10 days. A child, they got it. Okay, let's see. 3 months, 365, that's 90 days, 365 days. So the kids are going to school 270 days out of a year. So they can only miss 10 days in a semester. So we'll say 20 days in a year they can only miss. So you mean to tell me if they miss 10 days in a semester, the truancy, you got all these problems for what? Why is it such a big deal? So that's only 10 days. 10 days is not many out of 270 days. That's not much. You wonder why we have kids by the time they hit college, by the time they go into college. I think it is less than 50% of people on a 4-year program, they even graduate. Less than 50%. I think it's like upper 40s. They drop out. They drop out of the 4-year programs. They don't even complete it. The elites at the top setting in motion this plan to where they would impose a set of beliefs in on us, and it was like a social studies to see how we would respond. And years later we still have this school thing. Now I do understand, like, I'm not saying kids don't need it. Yes, we need to learn. We need meditation. Meditation would cut out a lot of this. We need sun. You don't need school to be successful. But now they got a law they about to pass. They trying to pass, if it hasn't already passed, that up to the 3rd grade, we don't want to label a child a boy or a girl up to the 3rd grade. And I said, why is it the 3rd grade? And when you're in the 3rd grade, you're 8 years old. When a child is born from the ages of 1 to 7, their brain is in a theta wave state. Theta is the subconscious, the doorway to the subconscious. And that's why they say, give me the boy at 7, I'll show you the man. From the ages of 1 to 7, all those beliefs and all those things that the child is taught carries on with them through their whole life. Through their whole life. These are their, when they're 30 years old and don't know what, they look around, they don't know what is going on. It's because when they was 1 to 7, those programs were programmed into their subconscious. So I said, oh, they want to set it up for the kids. They don't want the kids to have, from 1 to 7 is your beliefs are programmed into your subconscious from 1 to 7. We're just going to go ahead and leave out the whole gender thing. So by the time you're an adult, that don't even matter to you, because that was never even, that's not in your subconscious. So that plays a heavy role in the AI agenda. That plays a heavy role in this, y'all know, this whole mixing of the genders we got going on now. We got robots having babies. I mean, moaning and going on the whole 9. It's crazy. It just, for me to keep the kids at home just seems a little better to me, because for one, nobody is going to protect them like you are. Nobody is going to, a parent, which is exactly that, a pair that rents. When you have a baby, okay, when you sign that birth certificate, and when they put them prints on that, oh, cute little footprints. When you sign that birth certificate, you're signing your baby over to the corporation of the United States. United States has a tax ID number, just like my business has a tax ID number. And once you become, we're all there, okay, you can undo it, but it's a process and you have to study, and it's not something you can just learn like that. But at any moment, they can step in, and they will. This is why CPS is so rampant. Have y'all not seen them cases where the child is not property of the U.S. and they get them kids back? Okay, school is for punishment and discipline, not really for education. Okay, because anytime you pick up your child from school, you ask them, what have they learned? They can't tell you. Okay, but when you pick up your child from school, they can tell you what teacher said this, who did that. They can tell you all the things about on the discipline side, but they can't tell you what they learned. And I used to pick my kids up from school and be like, what'd you learn today? What'd you learn? I would try to have to pull it out. I had to pull it out of Big Man harder than to pull it out of Riley. But all these years, I can look back now and be like, yeah, you know, there's good teachers and there's good systems, but it's just we not knowing what's really going on, and that's why these things are able to continue and continue. Like now with, you know, the thing that, you know, everybody spooked out about a couple years ago, and then it was tearing families apart. I'm talking families was like, oh no, they looking at us like we stupid because we not going along with that. They talking about, oh no, you can't come over here, you getting exiled out of families, they calling you trash, and they calling you crazy. They was, and matter of fact, the media was making it like we was the bad guys and we was the reason why this whole thing wasn't going away. This is what they said. Now the whole thing has turned around on that. The whole thing has turned around on it. Really. The whole thing has turned around. And it's like, really? Oh, really? Then we graduate. We don't know nothing but how to add and subtract and read, okay? We graduate, we go on to college, or majority of people think that college you have to go. Well, within the last 10 years, and really within these last 5 years, people have really been acknowledging you do not need college to succeed. Well, college was initially, college was initially all male. There was no females. Let's just get that straight now. Then college was initially founded for the church, like the church community and stuff. And I think it said 50%, half of the 500 graduates from Harvard graduated for, and they went into ministry, and the other half was liberal arts. So colleges were founded for clergy. They were not what we think of today. Okay, kids in school, they being made fun of if they ain't got this and they not wearing that. And if you notice, you can tell what type of income a school zone is in by the kids, because they put uniforms on the lower income schools. And those uniforms look very much like the jail uniforms. I'm just keeping it real, because you can go to a private school and they wear uniforms too, but they don't look like that khaki, that jailhouse. They always have white crisp collar, like them white crispy shirts with that very navy blue color. That navy blue, it's a whole different vibe. When you see the private versus the public uniforms, it's different. And with the private school, see, you can take the money from the public school and put it towards a private school. You can do that. I don't know how many parents know about that. You can do that. When you take the money away, it takes the funding away, and then the schools just get worse and worse and worse. You know, they got all this money for the military and all of this, but the very basic foundation, which is grades K through 12, the money is not there. I mean, it's just so backwards. Like, why not? This is what y'all want. Oh, it's just so much. Look, you're not even supposed to be wearing shoes. Nah, why? Because someone told us to. Okay, shoes we're not supposed to wear. The earth has a negative charge that we are supposed to be getting. So I never really, and then looking back, I never really was always like, go get your shoes on, go get your shoes on. I would tell my kids to get their shoes on if I felt like they needed it. Like if I felt like, okay, like we're at the shop, you need your shoes, stuff like that. But I was never one of them types, go get your shoes on, and you know, and I'm glad, because before I didn't know, but now I know, and I was contributing. These are all things that we need. These are things we need to keep our children from being depressed. The suicide rate for kids is like huge. Since 2011 to today, it has tripled, doubled. I'm talking from ages 10 to 14, and then 14 to 18. I was like 10 to 14. I don't know the exact numbers, but from 10 to 14, the numbers are higher than 14 to 18. And it's because of social media. I'm just saying the reasons why we are not sending our kids back to school, but they are still learning. And some serious reasons you should consider too, because now we know kids are taking care of their whole families based off of social media now. We know that most people that graduate college can't even put that nowhere in, and now you in hundreds of $1,000s of debt, and we wonder why the suicide rate is so high. You know, it's just crazy. Meditation is a big key. It allows you to go within, and that's all the answers you need are within. Because once you start asking, then the universe, it just starts coming. Like, it just starts coming. Like, you ain't gotta beg. Like, once you start asking questions, it just starts coming. You know, when you're sincere, when your heart is pure, there ain't no stopping it. There's not. But anyways, I was just a little, when I realized that I was literally racking my brain, because, you know, we wanted land, and, you know, we wanted a nice home. Now, we don't need no big old fancy house. You know, social media got everybody out here broke, trying to, you know, put on. And what I'm saying is, we got to get out of these beliefs. The belief that I was like, we have to keep our kids here, kept us here, kept us here exactly where we are within this 1 mile radius kept us here, when in reality the possibilities were endless. And now once we broke out of that, we already got land. We got land now. We getting ready to build a house. You see what I'm saying? So the beliefs limit you. The beliefs limit you, and I promise you, once you unlock one, then like the rest and everything just comes with it. Y'all like my necklace? This is give y'all a little homework. Go look up Orgone and Orgone Energy. That's what this is. And I've got a few of these for the house. They got big ones that they bring life to dead things. Y'all go look that up and go get y'all some, because these are the things that we need. Because when we are clouded and when we're already fed garbage in every, like, they trying to knock us off in every direction, and I'm not even kidding. Anyways, y'all, give this video a thumbs up, because I know I dropped a few gems. I know I did. And I'm going to keep them coming. But y'all give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought. And I'll see you in the next one.